G'day YouTube, my name's Lance and welcome to Bundy Bear's Shed. Well, the weather report. Well, look, up in Bundaberg at the moment, it's 26 to 16. So it's starting to come down a couple of degrees, but today's Sunday afternoon. This afternoon's the only time I'm having off all week. So I thought I'd better jump in and do a stew, but today it's been a little bit overcast and we've had a few scuds come through, not much, but Saturday evening, which was last night, we had a storm front come through and a bit of thunder and that, but it went to the north of us, and so we ended up with 10 millimetres out of that and another couple of millimetres today with just a few showers. But on the radar, I think Plasma Dave up at Moore Park, Welcome Creek there, I reckon he would have got a little bit yesterday evening. It seemed to sit up there. The second there was one come through, then there was a little bit detached from it. It come through and it had quite a bit of red in it. So I'm expecting he would have done well out of that as far as rainfall goes. The rain that we got out of that little bit last night and today, well, I've just had a look and the tanks are just overflowing. So look, that's a great thing for us. After last year, I've got a squeaky chair here. After last year, the drought, well, we're just loving any little bit of rain we get. We probably should have mowed the lawn this afternoon, but it's just too damp to bother with. I've got the aircon on in here. It gets bloody muggy in here, and I've just been for a walk up the back. I took my metric micrometer set up the back to measure the crankshaft on the TA20. Anyway, I'm teaching myself a new way of threading, single point threading on the lathe, and I went up there. I've just been for a walk. I'm a bit sweaty. I've just been for a walk up and back with Kelly Dog to get my micrometers. Well, I've been up the shed with the shed locked up and trying to find my 25 to 50 micrometer. You think I can find that bloody thing? And I had it last weekend and I sat it up on the bench, and I reckon I sat it up on the bench, and so I've had a look under the tractor case. I left it there, and I've had a look around the stands, and I've been sitting parts up on the seat, and I must have spent half an hour looking for that bloody micrometer, and I still can't find it. So look, it's up there. I'll have to. What's Jude say? You need to have a mummy look. Get her up and say, look, it looks like this little G clamp, and she'll say, oh, what, this thing? Anyway, women do that to you, don't they? They just we need a bit of a guidance sometimes. What I've been up to, I've got a little bit of 4140 here, and my milling machine, it came with a generic type drawbar, and it had a little blind nut on the top with a pissy pin in it, and look, that buggered up ages ago. And so I just got a bit of threaded rod, rod one time, and I run a thread up quickly on each end with the die. And look, it's been all right, but over the years, like I use that mill a lot there, when we had the business and that, and even though it's a hobby mill, it used to get used for all sorts of things, and everyone used to jump on it. And look, that is real shabby now. That the threads are buggered on it, and it's getting sloppy in the threads and all that. So I set myself the task of making some new drawbars for it, and I can single point on a lathe all right, and all right is the thing. I'm not bloody good at it, I'm all right. And I don't know if you watch Joe Pazinski. Joe Pazinski's got a channel, and he's a bloke from Texas. He's got his own business, and I found him, the way he explains things, it just suits me and my style, and like Mr. Pete, everyone knows Mr. Pete. And well, Mr. Pete, when I watched Mr. Pete's video on setting stuff up in a 4-jaw chuck with a couple of keys, well, the bloody light went on, and I can do it in a flash now. And it's one of those things. You got to have someone. 10 people can tell you something, but someone will just say something different, and the penny drops, and away you go. So anyway, I've been puddling along with threading over the years, and I don't do an awful lot of it, and if it's just a little thing, I'm just as likely to turn it to size and run a die in the tailstock and whiz him up like that, just for being quick, and it's what well, I commonly do as a mechanic. You don't have a lathe out with you, you just get the die out and run her up and away you go. So anyway, I was watching one of Joe's clips from about 3 years ago, and he turns the, I'm using carbide tools, and he turns it upside down, and you get your centre height. Then, see, normally when you bring the cutter in, you cut towards the chuck, and as you cut towards the chuck and you get to where you got your line, you got to pull out. You're all eagle-eyed and you bloody drop her out, and away you go. You're finished. And anyway, I was watching a bit of Joe's stuff, doing a bit of catch-up, and he's got this upside-down inverted tool holder, and you run the lathe backwards, and you cut away from the chuck, so you can have a little groove where you start and a little clearance hole, and or just a quick V from the point of the thing, the depth of the cut you'd like to go, and you run the lathe backwards and you thread away from the chuck. And I thought, well, that's a good thing, because yeah, I'm always a bit not panicky, but you're on edge a little bit, and you know, you've only got to let that go too far and the shit hits the fan big time. And so I watched this thing, and the penny dropped, and I thought, oh, bloody clever, you know. I don't know why I didn't see that years ago, but and I watch his channel, but it's just something I missed, and I've only picked it up recently, and it's 3 years old, so I must have missed that one. So with the 6-jaw, I'm loving that new 6-jaw chuck. It's just a cracker. And the 4-jaw I bought with it, I haven't even put on the lathe yet. I thought, oh, I'll put that on, you know, set it up. But I'm loving that 6-jaw, and I'm finding little excuses to use it now. So what I've started to do is I've got a bit of 1/2-inch bar. Now I've got to make a couple of drawbars, and this one's 12 by 1.75 thread. Now, mine's a Chinese. It's a Hare & Forbes milling machine, a HM 48 with the DRO and all that stuff on it. And a lot of the tools that you get that are Morse taper, it's got a Morse taper spindle on it. A lot of the tools that you buy, the cheap stuff that I normally buy, is 12 by 1.75 thread. But I do have a couple of real old things I've bought off eBay, and I think I did a job the other day with a big end mill, and it's a Morse tapered end mill. Well, it was half Whitworth. So I've got a couple of drawbars, but they're all getting a bit average, bit second hand. So what I've been doing is this is it. I've done one. Bloody skeleton bastard. Yeah, buddy. Well, look what I'm doing. The 1/2-inch, I'm turning it down to 12, and then I'm running a thread down here, and when this is a nut I bought off Hare & Forbes ages ago. I bought a couple of spare nuts. I thought, oh, I might use them. And the thing with the nut on these little mills is this outer diameter here must fit down the guts, because as your main spindle comes down, it actually sits sort of inside the bearing housing. So that's the maximum size that can be. So you can't have, I've got one with a big nut on the top, and it can only go so far. I've only got so much travel with it. So by turning that down, what I'm going to do is bring this nut down, Loctite that on with retaining compound. I'll part this off up here and tidy that up nicely. And whenever I need to give this a bit of a tap to drop the tool down at the other end, well, I'm actually hitting on this shoulder that I left there. So look, I'm happy with that. I'm happy with how that worked out. I've got the other mark there ready to rock and roll. I'm ready to get into it. But I thought if I didn't get the stew done now, well, I've got a bit of a break in the traffic at 3:30 Sunday afternoon. Yeah, I might not get it done. So I thought I'll pull up on that for a moment and come and do the stew. So this weekend we are just busy, and I normally have Mondays off to do my own thing, but well, I'm not having it off tomorrow. I'm too busy at work, and Judy and I both went in yesterday, and we went in the morning to serve customers, but you know, catch up on bookwork and that, but we stayed, and I left sort of mid-afternoon, to come home and try and get some stuff organised for filming for the little tractor up the back. And yeah, Jude stayed till about 4 o'clock or something like that. So, but yeah, I was in there at 5:30, 6 in the morning, and so that till 2 or 3 o'clock. That's plenty on a Saturday anyway. So so we're still very busy. I've put the feelers out for a new staff member, and I've got a few. I've got probably 10 resumes, but then what happens is the employment agencies get in town here, and they get onto it, and then they ring you up and say, oh, what are you looking for? And you say, well, you'd like someone that's been around machinery, knows the terminology of a kingpin or a head gasket, or perhaps someone that sold their farm that's been a bit handy. That's where we got Ross, and he's well, I thought I had a good battery in the camera, but the camera just went and shut down on me. So with a flat battery, so I'm not sure what happened there, but the battery I put on, I usually swap them over. One goes in the charger, one comes out, and but anyway, I thought I put a good one in. But yeah, these job agencies get onto it, and then they send these people that are straight out of school, no experience. Their whole resume is half a page, and they must just get the person that they get paid the most for. So I'm going to sit down probably, well, when I get time. I was going to do it Friday, but it just got busy. Then Saturday at work I had to catch up on a few things, and I've got a few videos up the spout, just a couple. I've been putting out quite a few. I've been having a good run, but I've been having good filming time in doing it, and I got a heap done last weekend. But yeah, this time it's not going to happen. This week there's not going to be too much. There's going to be a couple. I do have a couple up my spout, but that's it. And so Ross, our main bloke, he was going to have last Monday as a rostered day off, and so we could have a 5-day Easter, but he's offered to come in, and it was good. He did. We had big bloody loads, and our parts loads are big enough that the vans can't carry them. We've got to wait till the afternoon drop for them to pick them up, because there's pallets and that. So we've arranged with them now that we can run down in the ute and pick them up and get on with our day rather than waiting. The other thing we're having trouble with at work is Australia Post, and people are ordering stuff early or late March, 21st, 25th, 30th of March, and they still haven't got their parts halfway through April. And Australia Post says, oh no, we're doing great, we can handle all this and that, but it's just bullshit. They've cancelled Express Post at the moment. You can't Express Post anything because they can't guarantee delivery, and I still haven't heard from them about our account. They're too busy to talk to us. So yeah, that's Australia Post dropping the ball, but that hops into our day too, because we have people saying, I ordered this part on such and such a day, and when am I going to get my item? And some are, you can just say, look, it's left here, here's your tracking code. You can see that it left the day after you ordered it, or the day you ordered it, or we got 2 or 3 days to get them out. And if we have to order stock, we run ourselves out, and we order it today, we'll put the order in today, and we might get the part tomorrow. So it depends on what day it is and that. So eBay, we put 3 days to leave our place, just to try and cover and not give false expectations. So and yeah, so some people are cranky about it, and some people are happy about it. They understand, but there's just nothing we can do about it. And I see our engine centre over in America and a few other places. The postal place, or the postal depot in America, put out a thing on Facebook. They just showed this bloody warehouse. It's like 5 times big as Bundy Bear's shed up the back there, just full of bins of post. And they said, look, we're getting there, this is what we've got to get through, and we're understaffed, people are staying home. And so I suppose that's happening in Australia as well. So so the postal services, it's gone to hell in a handbasket. And our waiting time, we're getting the parts out, we're travelling as best we can with it, and we try and have, if there's an order in today, unless it's a weekend, but if there's an order in, say, Monday lunchtime, that part will be ready and packed by Tuesday lunchtime, ready to head out the door. And it often is. Now and then the shit, things turn to shit, but most of the time it's good. steering knuckle rubbers. We're running out of them at the moment. We just seem to, you wouldn't believe, we're buying them 30, 40, 50 at a time, and we're running out. We've run 2 supplies out of them at the moment, so who knows. I put an order in with Sparex for the TEA 20 thrust washers, and I've got them up, and I haven't put it out yet, but I have a video on the end float in the crank of it'll be out over the next few days. Then this morning I had time between showers. It gets noisy up the back when it rains, and I had time to actually fit the thrust washers and do a crankshaft end play test. So hopefully that'll be interesting and keep the TEA 20 people appeased or just entertained, and that'll try and keep that going. I did a couple of jobs of a night, and because we're so busy at work, I've been coming home of a night and hopping in my little hoochie here, my little shipping container machine shop, and I've been trying to film a bit. You know, I did an LSB carby and a Massey 240 power steering cylinder, and so I said to Jude, I said, I'm going to set up a TV here. And she said, what do you want that for? And I said, oh, just often of an evening, yeah, you get to work at 5 or 6 o'clock, and you come home at 5 or 6 o'clock, you're finished, ready for a feed. And sometimes I just like to sit back and just watch a bit of YouTube. You know, I watch the news, then I try and watch a bit of YouTube and support the channels that support me, and you know, have a bit of a look sort of thing. But anyway, sometimes I'm sitting there thinking, oh, I should be outside doing such and such, but yeah, you run out of steam a little bit. So I said, well, bugger it, I'm going to put a TV out here, so I'll take it for a little walk here shortly. I've got a nice wall bracket now, so I can sit where I am in this corner, and I can have YouTube on. I've got the Wi-Fi working now, which wasn't working because the shipping container works as a Faraday cage. We couldn't get it in, but I've made a bracket to keep the door open so far. And like I'm in a carport, so there's no weather can get in, so the door comes up so far, and that lets the Wi-Fi in good enough for us to do what we need to do. So I've got it on the wall mount up there, and then I can swing it around if I'm working on the lathe and milling machine, and I just want a bit of background, bit of YouTube in the background or something. I can do that now. So and last night, yeah, I come home from work yesterday afternoon, and I come straight in here because I had little jobs to finish, and look, it was good. At 10:30 I pulled the pin in here and went inside. So slept in this morning. You know, didn't hop out till 6, so that was a big sleep in for us. And but I fiddled around, and I've just rearranged things here a little bit. The camera I'm talking now to, I've set up it's an old vintage microphone boom, and I've got a little bracket on there, and so this works all right. I can turn you down, and on my green bench here where I did the LSB carby up, I can swing the camera around. Then I've got the microphone just sitting just in here, and I've got a little shield on the microphone there now to try and, that's a bit of rag I've got over it. Now I've showed you that, you won't be able to stop looking at it. Anyway, that's out of the way, but that's a bit of rag sitting over the top of the microphone shield, just in case there's a bit of wind noise coming from the aircon. It shields the microphone from the aircon. The aircon's just above me, just up here, so it's sort of shooting up the length of the shipping container. So I've cleared this bench out. I've made rearrangements there, shifted things around a bit. I've cleaned up the other end the other weekend. I've got the TV set up in here now. So look, it's pretty good. It's nice and comfy. So I'm hoping that I can do the night shift in here a little bit, and I've still got a W4 carby to do. I'm waiting on a float from the States for that, and yeah, there's a few little knickknacks we want to do. I'm making a manifold that I can actually test the all these different oil gauges for the Fergie. Someone said to me about, yeah, they didn't know with the gauges, with the red, green, red, you know, when you come down into the red, how many PSI did the gauge? You know, what's that mean? 10 pound or 20 pound? And I thought, oh, geez, I don't know. Never thought about that. So, so I'm having a fiddle. I bought some hydraulic fittings the other day, and I'm going to jerry rig something up so I can have a digital, my master gauge there, and then I can pump them up like with a little hand pump. One of my early videos was doing up a rich porta power pump, but look, it worked all right, but the seats inside are a bit dicky, and it's never been good to hold, high pressure. But look, it may be good enough for that. And we used to, years ago, I had an old grease gun, and you could put the cupping back the front, and you could put oil in it, and you could use that. So I've got old grease guns, so I'm going to try that one afternoon, I think, just see how we go, just for a bit of fun. And it'll be an interesting video if nothing else. I was helping Jude clean up her office and came across this, and this is a bit of a trip down memory lane. I've got to keep it out of my little machine shop here now. Now that's a valve out of a big Ruston Hornsby, and back years ago, and look, 1988 it was, and I used to work, and myself and Judy both used to work for Australian Airlines, which are no longer. We must have been too expensive to keep, I suppose. but look, and we both worked for Australian Airlines, and we worked at Great Keppel Island Resort up in the Whitsunday, up in sort of west of Rockhampton, the lower end of the Barrier Reef, more or less. And if you look at Rockhampton, then to the east of Rockhampton towards the coast there's a little town Yeppoon. Well, Great Keppel Island Resort was out there, and it was a very popular place. Yeah, their catchphrase or their slogan was "Come to Great Keppel, it's a great place to be wrecked." And look, it was great fun, and it was an experience for a young couple up there, and we had a ball. There'd be 400 and something odd guests there, and there was 180 staff in top season. But my job up there was, I went up just as a fitter, as a mechanic, and then I was only there 6 weeks, and someone left, and I got 2 IC of the maintenance department. So I took that on, and that involved just keeping an eye on the maintenance, the painters, the plumbers, everything, and in that department. Then Judy started as a housemaid, but then as they have a fair turnover of staff, because they had staff that had come up there for the summer season, and then they'd shoot through down to Thredbo, down to the snow. As it quietened down up on the beach resorts and the winter came, they'd head down and they'd do the season at the snow. So we had a fair turnover of staff, and it was mostly young people. And so yeah, she ended up 2 IC of the laundry, which was run the housemaids and all that sort of thing. So look, it was a good experience. We were there about a year, and this old girl, this come out of a big old Ruston Hornsby engine. Now we had look, I think I've told you this story before, but my new subbies may not have heard it, but we had this big old Ruston Hornsby, and look, I think there was a mine called Gunsmoke or something like that, and this big old Ruston engine, it come out of there, and I think it was 1.1 kilowatt. Look, it was bloody big. Anyway, I've forgotten. I thought there might be 1.1 megawatt, and the other ones were 600 kilowatt or something like that. But look, I remember the 1.1 and I remember the 600, and these engines, this big one, it had 244 gallons of oil in the lower sump. Then up on the head, where the camshaft and all that was, it had its own oil pump and another sump up there to run the top end, and it had another 44 gallon drum of oil in there. And it used to run at 500 RPM, and that one engine would run the whole island. And the only time it bounced off it got overloaded a bit was on a really, really hot summer day, when there was a lot of guests on the island through the middle of the day, and all the bar doors would be left open, the air cons would be just going flat. So we jump on the bikes, we go to the pubs, and we talk to the barman and say, let them bloody doors shut. People can open and shut a door, and just to let the aircon have a rest and let it cycle, so we weren't bouncing off the limiter, because it had a little siren there, and when you were bouncing up onto the limits, you hear this, and in the engine house and in the maintenance shed, you just hear this little siren go up and down, and you'd know, oh shit, we're getting up there. So but that one engine would run the whole place. But we also had a V12 twin turbo Cummins there, and then we had these 3 other 600 kilowatt Rustons. They were 6 cylinders, but the big one that this valve come out of, it was 21 steps from the bottom concrete pad where it was bolted to get up to the top and walk around the top sump and check that everything was oiling and all that sort of thing. So, and this is a valve, and it had 4 of these per cylinder head, so 2 in, 2 out, and a big cooling tower outside. And yeah, this old engine on a good day would run the show. On a bad day, you'd have to start another engine up to help it, another Ruston, and you'd get them going, and you'd have your clocks turn, and with your hertz, and you'd bang, lock them in, and away you'd go. That'd take the problem away. You'd have enough power. And look, it was an interesting thing running a powerhouse for a while. Just how, as the load comes off of a night, the hertz, we're in 240 volt 50 hertz in Australia, and as the hertz would go up as you were having dinner or that of an evening and the power would be coming off, you'd notice it climb up 50, 55, so you'd go and you'd back the gen set off a bit and bring it down to say 47 hertz, and then you'd have a look and she'd be up to 55, so you go and taper it down again. Then about midnight we'd stop doing that, and then in the morning you'd hop up and you'd go over, check everything, and you'd have a look. We had 2 clocks. We had a battery clock and a 240 volt clock, and you'd have a look, and because the load had come off the generator and it was sitting at 5 or 6 hours at extra hertz, you might have picked up 10 minutes. So the battery clock would say 6 in the morning and the other one say 10 past 6. So you'd actually have to start the day and you'd drop it back to say 47 hertz, 48 hertz, and you'd bring it back so all the clocks got back into line. And now the reason you did that was because we're on a couple of hundred rooms in the place, with a couple of hundred digital clocks and digital alarm clocks. It was just time consuming getting all the housemaids to go and change all the clocks, because you could have said, oh bugger it, just tell them to go and change the clocks, but you had to go around 180 rooms and the restaurants and the office and the everything had to change, so you had to get these clocks back right, so that everyone that was relying on clocks, the airstrip and all that was relying on clocks, so the clocks were right. So you kept that around 50 hertz. You could go up or down a couple as the day went on, but you had these clocks, and if she started getting out by a few minutes, well, you just back her off a little bit and you'd sink them in. And look, just interesting, getting a bit sidetracked there anyway. It's part of life, what you get up to. So and yeah, we pulled the head off that a few times and did bits and pieces, and I asked them could I have a valve, and they said yeah, you can have it if you want it. So I took it home. So I've carted that around since 1988, just as a memento. I lose it now and then, and like it was in Jude's office, I must have had it there. It was in her office, and she's just had a bit of a tidy up and a muck around in there. And I thought, oh, there's that valve. I'll go and take that out of me hoochie. And I'm just here chatting to you, and I thought, oh, I'll tell you a yarn. So, but anyway, okay, look. So no Monday this week. I'm just running flat at work, trying to keep up still, and so I don't know what's going to come out through the week, but there is something. There is a little bits and pieces, and whether I get to film any threading or I just get it done so I've got the job done, I don't know. But I'll go handheld for a moment, and I'll turn it off, start back on. I'll go handheld, and I'll just show you what I've done here. Just look, it's just a little bit of a change, and hopefully it makes it easier to work with. I've been having trouble, I have tripods and all that for the filming, and I've got the brackets up the end of the shed near the mill and the lathe that I've shown before. Then down here I'd always have a tripod, and in my little container here you're always walking around tripping it up and all that. So I think this is a better idea. And look, it's I'm feeling it's good. The old coronavirus, I haven't been able to go up and see Dad. He's been in care, but then he's been a bit crook lately, so yesterday they took him up to the main hospital. Now they've transferred him to a private hospital. They think he's got a bit of a stomach infection or something like that, which isn't good. He's been very weak, flat hopping up out of his chair and things like that, but I haven't been allowed to go and see him, and they're allowed one visitor a day, and so Mum's been going up every day, and look, taking care of his needs, and so he's up in hospital now. So I said, "Oh, new hospital, go. I might whiz up on Sunday Ave and see him." And Mum says, "Oh," she said, "It's bloody stupid up there." she must have said something to him anyway. And he's allowed one visitor a day for 15 minutes. And but the thing is, he's got a phone in his room, so I'll probably, after the stew here, I'll probably take an hour and ring him. He's getting a bit fuzzy headed. He hasn't lost all his marbles, but you know, there's a bit of a hole in the bag sort of thing. And some days he has good days, and some days he has bad ones. So some days I'll ring up and he'll be clear as a whistle, you know, chatting away about something or other. But the other day I rang him and he's telling me about he said Arrow was in here today, little grandson. My little grandson, and he says, "Oh, Arrow was in. Oh, he's a live wire. He was here and there." Well, no, that was before Corona, so that was about 8 or 9 weeks ago or something like that. Arrow come in to see him and all that. So, but he was saying, "Oh, just the other day, just through the week here." And I said, "Oh, that was a bit a while ago, Dad." "No, just the other day." And I was, "Oh, okay." So anyway, he's up in another hospital at the moment, and he's 83, coming up 84, and he's having a bit of a rough trot at the moment. But anyway, hopefully he gets feeling better within himself again, because he's been feeling a bit shit. So, but anyway, look, enough of that. I'll go handheld, and I'll show you a bit of what I've been doing. Well, I've tidied some of this up here, but I did that the other week, and I've just finished a bit more today. I've hopped around the end there and changed the change gears in my lathe to make it so I can do metric threading. So it still needs a bit of a tidy up the lathe, but oh look, it's alright. I'm thinking of upgrading this. This has been good to me over the years, but I thought as I get towards retiring age, I might just put a little bit of new gear in here. And my milling machine too, I'm thinking of upgrading that to a knee mill. See how things go. No hurry for any of that. That's a bit of a mess at the moment, but it's yeah, I've still got the setup there where I did this thing for centering things in the truck. That's still sitting there, and the tools are still sitting there, so I haven't put anything back, grubby bugger. But anyway, not to worry. Now coming up this end here, I've got the TV up here now, and I've got that on a bracket. So it doesn't matter where I am in the shop here, I can watch a bit of YouTube, and look, that was just bloody handy this morning. I was running through those studs, and you can see me there. Wave to Lance. Look, it's gone out of whack now. Got to bugger it up. I don't know what to look at now. There we go. It's resettled. I didn't like the waving bit. Thought, you bastard, we're not talking to you. And so yeah, when I was out here, up here, running through threading that drawbar, it was handy just to have Joe's video on up here, and just have a refresher on what I thought he said and what he said. So that worked good. I was happy with that. Now, my little desk here, that's I've got that set up now. I've got a laptop so I can do a bit of editing this half, and that's just the normal. You've all seen that before, but this is all new. I've got a microphone boom now. An old bloke gave me this old microphone stand, and it's got a real old cast bottom on it. And look, it's just a good thing. It's a bit wobbly, but normally when you got the camera, like I had the camera sitting up here, and that was pointing at me bloody mug before, and so it can sit there, and then I can spin it around and just drop it down onto the bench there when I want to film what's going on there, and that also gives me a microphone that I can sit up the top here, and that's where the aircon is here. I was just putting that there before to block the just to block any wind that might have been blowing on the microphone there. But when I don't need that there, I can just swing that around to the wall. So that just sits at 90 degrees to my bench then, so it's not in the road. and I can still run the camera down there if I want to. So look, that's a good thing. It's because I've had a bit of a tidy up. It's feeling nice and fresh. You know, like when you clean your workbench, you feel nice and fresh for a little bit. So that's okay. It's a good spot. I have been doing a lot of video editing at work early. I jump in and get something ready early in the morning, and while I'm working through the day, it's rendering and all that sort of thing. So I just haven't got time for that at work at the moment. So that's all going to happen here on that little laptop. I've also got a HDMI cable going up to the new telly. So if I choose to, I can turn the TV round, and then when I'm sitting at my desk here, it looks pretty high there, but it's not really when you're sitting there, and I can see what I'm doing up there, no worries. So yeah, I got the tablet there. Yeah, I got everything I need. God, life's good. I haven't got a fridge, but I got one outside, and anyway, I'm off the grog, trying to lose a few kilos again. I'm too busy putting on my Christmas pudding. Oh, there you go. That's a quick walk around. Just a bit of a catch up on what we're doing in here, or what I'm doing in here, and I'm mainly just getting ready to do a bit of night work so I can sort my commitments out and keep you fellas entertained and keep myself going. And I've been putting a lot of videos out just lately, and the people that are in lockdown are sending me messages. They appreciate the bit of entertainment, bit of whatever I do. I don't know if it's entertainment or not, but anyway. It's just what we get up to. And so yeah, I'm hopefully I'm set up so I can do little bits and pieces, like little carbies and a few little bench jobs of an evening that people give me to do. So in the past I've tried to do them at weekends, or come home from work early and do them, and I haven't filmed a lot of them or anything, but hopefully now I'm set up that I can come in here of an evening and put the aircon on or the heater on or whatever I need, and I've got a comfy spot to do it. I can watch YouTube, I can do the whole show, or just film what I'm doing. So anyway, have a good week everyone. Thanks for dropping by. If you're new to the channel, do the like, subscribe, all that thing. Say good day, send us a message. Say good day, I'm Harry from Dunaware. And yeah, well, that's what grows these channels. So we're coming up to, look, I think we're coming up to 18,000 subs. Shouldn't be far away. My fuel injection video, I think I told you last week, it hit 1 million views. That was alright. Nothing else happens much, eh? Pretty dull and boring. But anyway, look, have a good week everyone, and hopefully we'll pop a bit of content out through the week apart from just the stew. And yeah, look, we'll catch you next week.